Welcome to Scottsdale, Arizona. Located just northeast of Phoenix, in the Phoenix metropolitan area, this is one of the top destinations in the southwest United States. And this weekend, there's something awesome going on. We have a confluence of the Waste Management Open, which is a golf tournament that takes place here in Scottsdale on the same weekend as Super Bowl 57, I believe, LV2. So I figured we'd head out today, drive around the area of the Waste Management Open and get a sense of the traffic, the volume, what's going on, and see if we can't see some of the fun that's happening. Scottsdale's famous in the Southwest, as I mentioned, for being a destination for tourism. It's also considered one of the top destinations for retired CEOs and other folks who we would consider maybe well-heeled and are looking to get out of the cold environments of the Northwest, the Northeast, Canada, and just make a break out here to the desert. On our left is the Scottsdale Quarter, which is a high-end shopping destination. That's an outside mall. Allows you to walk around and experience brands like Lululemon, Yeti, Apple Store, Gap, while also having restaurants. And in the center, there's a big park. I've actually got another video where I've driven through there, so you can check that out on the channel, and I'll put a link to the Scottsdale Quarter and North Scottsdale video below. Right now, we're heading directly towards one of the smallest airports, and yet the biggest in the Phoenix metropolitan area. It's Scottsdale Airport. This airport is actually used, as I mentioned, by CEOs and other well-heeled individuals who fly their private jets in and get out and about. So you can see it right up there. This airport boasts convenience and proximity to some of the most expensive real estate in the entire southwest United States. And it also dominates, if you will, this part of town. We are right now west of the airport, south of the golf course where they have the Waste Management Open, and just about 2 miles away from the Princess, which is a big hotel that borders the golf course where they have the tournament. So although you can see industrial buildings and this airport sitting right here, you could imagine that within 10 minutes you could get off a plane, get into a car, and be at one of the top hotel destinations. So this industrial area isn't the best to look at. We're going to zip out from here, head back down to the Scottsdale Quarter, and then back up and around towards the Waste Management Open. So there's the Quarter up on our right. That's the parking garage there. We're going to go right and head north. As we currently sit, we're actually about 4 miles south of the 101, the loop that encircles the entire Phoenix metropolitan area. And as I mentioned, we're really only about 1.5 miles from the entrance to the golf course. So we're going to turn right here. You're going to be able to see the parking garage come into view right in front of us. And this is the east side of the Scottsdale Quarter, coming off of Booth-Ferris. See some more apartments and a hotel coming into view up ahead, and we're going to head right here. As you can see, those apartments on the left and the hotel, there's a contrast of industrial and office space on the right. This area used to be dominated by that airport, but now It's mixed use for sure. And as we pass some of these saguaros and these mesquites on the right hand side, believe it or not, we're about 3 blocks away from the entrance to one of the major golf tournaments that takes place early in the season each year. We're going to round this corner, and with the beautiful mountains in the background, you're going to start to see people coming into view on foot. You're going to start to see people who look like they're heading from or to an event. The weather outside right now is about 62 degrees. So while it's beautiful and sunny, it is a little chilly for those who live here. But I'm sure we're going to see a lot of shorts, a lot of tank tops, and a lot of sun hats, as everybody is excited to get out into warmer weather. In other parts of the country, they've just come through one of the worst winter storms in over 5 years. And so I would imagine this would be a respite. Parking for this event dominates the area for the next 5 days, and you can see the bike taxis will be coming and going, dropping people off as they find parking, both paid and free, I imagine. As we continue straight ahead, we're getting into the event traffic now, and straight will take us into the event itself. Today there's no through traffic, so I won't be able to drive through the event, but we should get a pretty good view if we turn left here on Frank Loyd Wright Boulevard. On the left, you can see the white tents just over that rise. You can see the cars turning right and going up the hill for the parking. And on the extreme left of the screen, if you zoom in on that white tent, you can actually see that there's people up there. Because as I mentioned, today's selection day for the Pro-Am, and that means that celebrities, sports stars, folks from all over the country are here today as they prepare for what is going to be a very busy weekend. Frank Loyd Wright, back down to Scottsdale Road. You can see the tents on the right hand side, and if you look close, you'll be able to see people up there watching some of the events. The Waste Management Open, or Phoenix Open, is sponsored. It's a PGA Tour event, and it's held at the TPC Scottsdale, which we're going to head up here and try to get as close to as we can. The tournament was originally the Arizona Open, and it is 91 years old. It was started in 1932. It stopped in 35 and then started back up in 39. It's 5-day attendance. It's usually around 500,000 people, and it's one of the best attended golf events in the PGA. Since '73, it's been in conflict with the Super Bowl, as I mentioned earlier, and this is one of the rare times where both events are actually taking place in the same city. There are a couple of holes in this event that are known for being rowdy. You can Google it, but Tiger Woods won a comeback tour event here, and the 16th hole is legendary. It's the greatest party on grass. A lot of rowdy folks get down to that corner, and this event is actually known for being one of the more casual and rowdy events on the tour. Coming up on the left-hand side, the Frank Loyd Wright Spire. This is an iconic feature in this area, and it sits just off Frank Loyd Road and North Scottsdale Road. We're going to go right here if we were to continue straight, we would end up on Bell Road, which is actually one of the major arteries. It takes you all the way across the Phoenix Valley. And I have a video that I'll include the link to down below where we actually take a quick run up Bell Road from downtown out to the West Valley. Turning right here on North Scottsdale. This is one of the busier intersections in the area. You'll see the Courtyard by Marriott up on the left-hand side. More mixed use on the right as we head north towards the Fairmont Princess, which is one of the most famous hotels in Scottsdale. Right now, if we continue on this path, we're going to end up passing the Fairmont on the right-hand side and linking in with Loop 101 up ahead about 1.5 miles. Starting to see some more golf parking as well as delivery access, and that golf course is just over the rise on the right hand side. Here's the entrance to the Fairmont Princess Hotel. Now if we were allowed to turn in there and go back in, we'd actually be able to get in to see, they have a Holiday Inn back in there, as well as some apartments and some houses that are built in and around the golf course up there at the TPC Scottsdale. But for now, due to traffic restrictions, we've been told that we won't be able to drive through the area. So instead, we'll continue up North Scottsdale. And on the left, you're going to see some high-end car dealerships that you might expect in a neighborhood like this. But there's also a very interesting tourist destination known as the Penske Racing Museum that's also coming up on the left. On the right-hand side, you're going to see more mixed use and some very new restaurants and shopping destinations. And this area just has a very desert, fun, touristy vibe, if you will. The Mayo Clinic is also located right around here. And the next major artery we come close to will actually be Mayo Boulevard. So we're going to continue on north, past Mayo, and then make our way out of the area. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you have a location that you'd like us to drive to, leave it in the comments below. I'll grab the camera and we'll head that way. By the way, if you haven't subscribed to Dewey's World, will you do me a favor and do that, as well as click the like button and the bell? That'll keep you up to date on the latest from Dewey's World. These videos are so fun to make. I hope you've enjoyed watching it, and thanks so much for coming out on this drive with me.